You rely on your data every day. But as data volumes continue to grow, so too does the risk of disaster from losing that data. Your final defense against data loss is your backup. Your data backup is your insurance policy if disaster strikes, but it only pays out if your backups are recoverable. That's why regular disaster recovery testing is so important. However, with data and applications spread across multiple public clouds and on-premise systems, recoverability testing is a complex, time-consuming, and expensive task. This is where Predator helps. The platform gives you the tools to simplify this process. Use automation to stay on top of your disaster recovery testing with zero manual intervention. Predator continuously tests your backups and lets you know of any problems. From provisioning the disaster recovery infrastructure and installing operating systems and applications, to restoring valuable data to your chosen location, Predator has got you covered. Machine learning finds your most vulnerable systems and tests them first. The platform tests both individual elements of a system and complete systems made up of multiple databases and applications, giving you confidence that you're covered in the event of a disaster. The patented disaster recovery orchestration makes one-off manual tests a thing of the past. The Predator platform saves you time and money and gives you total peace of mind with a 100% restore guarantee. Predator gives you the power to protect your most critical resource, your data.
Good morning, America, and good afternoon, Europe. I'm Rick Norgate, Managing Director of Predator, and welcome to another Predator webinar. In this webinar, we're going to hear from Al, who's going to talk to us about different ways you can license IBM Spectrum Protect and Spectrum Protect Plus. Al, over to you.
Thanks for that intro, Rick. Hello, everybody. I'm Al McKenzie, CEO and founder of Predator. If you've ventured here today expecting an inspiring TED Talk, well, I'm afraid you're in the wrong place. Today, I'm going to talk you through something much more exciting than that, the exhilarating highs of licensing software. In particular, we're going to look at licensing options for IBM Spectrum Protect, its flagship data protection product. When it comes to licensing IBM's plethora of technology, IBM have not left you high and dry. There's really no shortage of ways for you to license and use it. For the majority of IBM's technology, businesses traditionally have defaulted to the perpetual license model. You estimated how much you needed, held your nose, and wrote a big check. It was the only option available at the time. And that's not to say that perpetual licenses don't have their place. They allow you to pay up front at the start of the licensing term and then simply follow that up with periodic scheduled maintenance and support fees, typically once a year. However, at Predator, we've seen a lot of businesses moving away from this and looking into the benefits of subscription models. So why is this? Well, in a word, flexibility. Subscriptions typically give you more flexibility and options than a perpetual model. And it's this flexibility, although popular before, is resonating even more in a world where the economy is still coming to terms with COVID-19. Now more than ever, the pandemic is driving businesses to tighten budgets. Whilst value for money and budget flexibility have always been desirable, new computing platforms are emerging so fast, it's important to be able to bring or drag your licenses with you on that journey. Simply put, it offers you the ability to flexibly spread out your costs and only pay for what you need. No surprises, more control. So of course, because of the flexibility it offers, it's getting serious consideration by technology buyers. You might be thinking, well, business is booming in my industry. We're not personally facing any economic downturn. Well, first of all, good for you. You're one of a handful. Secondly, it might be that a perpetual licensing model still suits your needs. However, there are plenty of reasons you might want to turn to a subscription-based licensing process that has nothing to do with the economics, and we'll explore these today. Throughout this webinar, we'll have a look at how various subscription models work for IBM Spectrum Protect, and more importantly, how they compare to a traditional perpetual license. So let's begin with the basic workings of a subscription model and how you can go about best using it to your advantage. The biggest difference a subscription model is going to make to you and your business is that instead of purchasing outright the software license. You essentially rent the software over an agreed period. So you can make these payments monthly, quarterly, or yearly. There are endless ways that you can determine the usage of software, but the most common way to do so for backup software is to track typically the capacity stored in the backup system. This means the number of gigabytes, terabytes, or petabytes being stored. It's worth remembering here that good entitlement management systems are a prerequisite for any vendor, but you don't want a vendor that treats it simply as a requirement. You want a vendor that really knows their stuff and specializes in this. For now, let's take a look at the benefits of using a subscription model. Number one, it allows a business to align the cost of investment with the benefit received. Number two, it preserves cash by allowing pay-as-you-go billing, typically monthly, but if systems allow, by the minute even. With a perpetual license model, you have high upfront costs before any benefit is realized. The customer, that's you, carries all the financial risk with a perpetual license, but with a PAYG, pay-as-you-go subscription, the risk transfers to the vendor and you simply pay for what you use. Number three, the product is regularly updated, especially if software deliveries via SaaS and supported by agile development processes. Too many users of perpetual licenses suffer from technology lag. They've paid for the features, but unable to exploit them or upgrade to the latest versions without costly upgrade projects. With SaaS applications like Predator, new releases are delivered seamlessly once per month with new features, tools, and benefits at no extra cost to the customer. Number four, the subscription model aligns better with cloud billing models, thereby removing one of the barriers to moving on-premise workloads to the cloud or back again. This helps give businesses real transparency on their actual costs, while allowing businesses to fine-tune their spend. Number five, most subscription models allow customers to more easily discontinue use, making it less risky to acquire the software in the first place. Modern subscriptions are flexible and built with the customer in mind. Rather than being locked in for a number of years, customers can dial up or down their subscription and even cancel it at short termination notice periods should they wish to. So, we can see here that there are plenty of benefits that come along with a subscription model, making it an attractive option for a lot of organizations looking for flexibility and adaptable cyber resilience practices. But it's all very well knowing the benefits. What we really want to know is how they stack up against a perpetual model over a number of years. To answer this, let's look at an example of total cost of ownership. So, on the screen we've got a really simple, very exciting graph. Along the x-axis we've got the investment profile, and along the y-axis we've got time, stretching from year 0 to year 5. What we're going to do is plot the annual investment in a perpetual license versus a subscription rental model. To do this, we have to work on the basis of a couple of assumptions. So in this example, we're going to assume you already use Spectrum Protect based on an IBM Passport Advantage scheme, and that this is also based on the back-end capacity licensing metric. So let's say you're required to pay new license fees for any capacity increase, as well as an annual license and support maintenance fee. Typically, these fees are prorated for any new licenses purchased during the year. We can see that this is how the investment curve looks if we go by the assumption that your capacity grows by 15% per year and IBM applies a price increase of 2% on support and maintenance fees. So now we need to plot the cumulative spend over the projected ownership lifetime, which we've said is 5 years in this case. And we can see that then this gives you a total spend of $1,112,000 precisely. Still with me? Good. Now for the fun part. We're going to overlay the subscription pricing model and see what happens. This way, we'll be able to see exactly how the two pricing models compare and which might be better fit for you. First, let's plot the investment profile of the subscription model. The pricing will assume a flat price per terabyte of capacity used, and again, we'll assume a growth rate of 15% per year. here's where things start to look very different. Unlike the perpetual pricing model, which has both the new license cost and the maintenance cost included, the subscription model has only one monthly rental fee. So let's put them side by side. We can see that it's a much flatter curve, with the subscription model reducing the overall expenditure over the 5-year period by $500,051, which totals to a 51% saving. This tells us that not only is the subscription model really flexible, it's also more cash friendly in terms of the total cost of ownership. A key call out here is that this model has assumed no benefit from the data reduction technology such as compression or data deduplication. For businesses that are able to implement Spectrum Protect container pools, you get to benefit from deduplication ratios of 2, 3, or even 4 to 1. In that case, any decision based on TCO would lean even more so towards the subscription or rental model, as seen in the example here, with a deduplication ratio of 3 to 1. There are a lot of factors that can influence your choice of software licensing, so it's important to calculate the costs using data-led research. We know that the measurement of usage can get super technical, especially for capacity-based models. One way you can go about doing this calculation is to get a snapshot using custom scripts via Spectrum Protect. But there are easier, more consistent ways to monitor your license usage by using automated insights. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you about Predator, where we do offer Predator Insights, a cloud-hosted platform that is completely free forever. Okay, fine. So I am the CEO of Predator. Of course I'm going to say this, but it's genuinely a real lifesaver for a lot of Spectrum Protect users. And you can see this for yourself in the testimonials and case studies we have available. And as an extra bonus, it's also very quick to install and super easy to navigate. For more on this, we've put the URL for Predator Insights on screen, so you can go ahead and set up a free account if you like. We'll also be launching a free total cost of ownership TCO tool this week, which we've built in order to help you explore what the best licensing model is for your business, and you'll also be able to find this on our website. And that's it from me. If you want help finding the right licensing model for you and your business, please do reach out to us. I'm now going to pass back to my glamorous managing director, Rick.
Thanks for that, Al, I think. Maybe less of the glamorous, I'm not sure. So thank you very much for listening to Al and taking the time to participate in today's webinar. Some really interesting insights there from Al, particularly around how those subscriptions, really resonate in the modern world. The flexibility, the ability to move up, move down with your tiering, depending on how much data you've got, and also the ability to kind of cancel those subscriptions at any time really are giving businesses new ways to license modern technology. So we do have some time for some questions. I think I can see 3 questions so far. So Al, question number 1, quite an interesting one actually looking at this, is going to a pay-as-you-go model, does that make it harder if we get audited by IBM? Al, what do you think?